Welcome to WNBA Wagers Playoffs Edition here at Parlay Studios. I'm your host, Crina Mustafa, and here's what's coming up on today's show. First, a preview of our first Game 3 between the defending champs, the Chicago Sky, who hope to avoid elimination yet again against the New York Liberty, who are at home this time. Then I'll also preview Game 3 of the Dallas Wings and the Connecticut Sun and give you some fun picks for all these playoff matchups. Later, I'll sit down with our NBA analyst Noor Zainab to discuss the Aces and preview their semifinal matchup against the Seattle Storm. The defending champs had a bit of a scare in Game 1 of their matchup against the Liberty, but they certainly got back on track with a resounding 38-point victory on Saturday. It's like a boxing match. The Liberty jabbed in that first game at Chicago, leaving their opponent stunned but still alert. And Chicago not only countered with a cross, but they're ready to uppercut the Libs and deliver the final blow. The X factor for the Sky in this series? Kahleah Copper. The 2021 Finals MVP is already showing why she deserved that award last year, proving to be a difficult defensive assignment for the Liberty. She scored 20 or more points in each game this series, which is already impressive with the offensive abilities of the entire Sky team, but the way she scores is crucial. She can shoot the three, score in transition, and finds any way to finish at the rim. This is what makes her such an offensive threat, and the Liberty are going to have to figure out how to contain her if they want to pull off the upset. If you're looking for a bet with value money, let's take the Chicago Sky to take Game 3 and win by 7 to 9 points at plus 600. Moving on to another intriguing Game 3 between the Connecticut Sun and the Dallas Wings. If you want to talk about a 1-2 punch, then this is it. The Sun punched first, beating the Wings by 25 points in Game 1. Whoa. In Game 2, the Wings took control from the start. They led with as many as 31 points until the Sun decided to make a late fourth quarter 22-5 run, forcing Wings head coach Vicki Johnson to put her starters back in the game quickly. A three from Veronica Burton, and the Wings could relax their shoulders. But looking ahead to Game 3, the Sun may still hold the advantage. With each team getting the chance to show dominance, Game 3 could be a lot closer. Take the Sun to win and both teams to score at least 80 points at plus 275. All right, on to some Aces talk now with our resident NBA expert and Aces bandwagoner, Noor Zainab, and I'm sure you'll be very happy that they took care of business with the Phoenix Mercury as was expected. And it's kind of been a really hard year for the Mercury overall, so we don't have to go too much into depth about them. Like, we just kind of hope they get right physically and mentally, because it's just been a long year for them.
For sure.
But what was your biggest takeaway on the Aces side of it from this first round series?
I think for me, and like you said, a bandwagon resident WNBA Las Vegas Aces fan. Very new to this, all right, so don't hold me to it. But I think for me, from the very beginning, I've been a big fan of that team because I was like, obviously they're fun to watch. They have such an explosive offense that we get to see through Kelsey Plum, through A'ja Wilson, through Jackie Young, obviously coached by the great Becky Hammon. But for me, my star hasn't changed from the very beginning until now, and that remains to be Chelsea Gray. I feel like she has just been the talk of not just the team itself, but the league itself. She has pointed herself out to be the point guard for everybody else involved in that conversation. And the way that she, not just, if you look at her first game against the Mercury, right? She made it look like she was injured for a little bit. Everybody was holding their breath. Everybody was really scared. And as she went off, the team kind of looked a little bit shaky. They looked a little bit unstable. I think it almost gave Mercury a chance to have that run back. But the second you saw Chelsea Gray come right back on, that was it. The game was done. Mercury had kind of lost it the second she was able to go right back on the court. So it shows you that not only is she a player that understands her teammates, where to put them into winning positions, but she understands when it's time for her to lead her team as well and be that person that's just going to take the shot, take the bounce, make that insane pass that you're just going to see on SportsCenter every single night. And she's doing that in the playoffs right now where it's all counting. So for me, it's got to be the point guard. Do not poke the bear. That's Chelsea Gray.
I'm so glad you brought her up, and I'm so glad you brought up insane passing, because now they're going up against Sue Bird's team, who she's arguably the best point guard in WNBA history, or at least she's up there. I won't say the best, but she's known for her insane passes and her playmaking skills. So now having these two going up against each other, I mean, what are you kind of looking forward to their semifinal matchup between the Aces and the Storm?
I think we're just in for a treat. Like, you're about to see one of the two best teams in the conference go against each other. And like you said, they've got Sue Bird. And I think with a team like the Storm right now, not only do they have the talent and obviously Brianna Stewart, Sue Bird, Jewel Lloyd, but they have this extra pedigree that's going to make them want to win whatever they face right now, because it is Sue Bird's last season. She has everything riding on this right now. So when you have something that goes beyond the realm of basketball, it's like about legacies now. It's about having that second, third ring, the championship. I think that kind of mentality plays a big factor into these games. So if I'm the Aces, yeah, I'm the better team here, I think. But I think on the other side, I'm scared because they have emotions that they're playing for now. And those emotions will catch up on the court. They will show you when one team is down, the other team wants to bring it back up. And they will just show you in terms of experience too, because Sue Bird has the experience. She's done this before. She's been here before. The team collectively has that experience too. So as great as the Aces are, I am a little concerned about when it comes to actually playing it on these high levels.
Yeah, and you talk about the Storm who just defeated the Washington Mystics.
Yeah.
Speaking of experience, we saw Elena Del Don back in the playoffs for the first time since 2019. And, they swept them, but I feel like the series was a little bit closer than, a sweep suggests, because that first game was won very close. It was like 3 points. And then the second one, they kind of pulled away at in the last minute or so, which kind of like led them to win that series. But I think the fact that the Storm made it past the Mystics as easily as they could have hoped to get past them.
Absolutely.
And now you also have the battle of the MVPs with Brianna Stewart and A'ja Wilson going up against each other. So I think you're right. Like, we are in for a treat. On the Aces side, like, what are you expecting to see from them? Because I think we can agree that the Storm are going to be their first real test of the playoffs.
Absolutely. And I think it goes kind of both ways, because the Aces are going to have, we talked about this already, they have such an explosive offense and they have so many players that can beat that offensive powerhouse. Like, again, A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum on one team. Like, what? And then you've got Chelsea Gray. When she wants to get it going, she can. When she wants to be a passer, she can too. So I think for me, the biggest obstacle in this game will be to see how Seattle kind of matches their offensive energy defensively. They're going to have to stop them in every way, shape, or form that they can. They can obviously match that offensively, but how can you stop someone like A'ja Wilson coming at you? How do you stop then having Chelsea Gray pass it out to Kelsey Plum on the three? Like, things like that are what I'm going to be looking for. But I think in a series of 5, it's really hard to have errors and have room for errors, because once one team goes down, that's kind of pretty much it, right? Like, you're not going to see a lot of comebacks. So a team like Seattle is going to have to make sure that their defense is up notch and ready to go since game 1. So I think I'm just excited. I am going to obviously back my team, the Aces.
I was just going to ask you, do you have any picks?
I got to do it. I got to do it. I don't know how many games it will take for them to actually do it. But I think they are going to be the better team in this scenario. But again, like I said, for me, the Storm have the experience. So you kind of have to see, okay, what's really, I think game 1 will tell us who is where and who has the more potential in this entire series. So I'm just excited. It's going to be super fun.
Oh, it definitely will. I'm very excited as well. And, thank you for coming to talk to me about it, because I know we had to get you on to talk Aces.
I mean, I live here, so I could have stopped by any point.
Yeah, and you guys can tune into all the games this week. They've all been nationally televised, which is amazing for us, especially here in Canada. It's
Absolutely.
really nice, super accessible. But that's enough Aces talk from us today, and we'll see how they fare against the Seattle Storm.